Singapore's brand of meritocracy is characterized by three ingredients. First, the successful giving back to society. Second, common spaces and experiences for all Singaporeans. And third, support from the government. Mr. Deputy Speaker, meritocracy can only be moral when those who take the most from the system also put back the most. I quote from an address entitled The 10 Suggestions at Princeton University in 2013 by then US Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke. I quote, "A meritocracy is a system in which people who are the luckiest in their health and genetic endowments, luckiest in terms of family support, encouragement, and probably income, luckiest in their educational and career opportunities, and luckiest in so many other ways difficult to enumerate, these are the folks who reap the largest rewards." It is tempting for those who have succeeded to attribute their success solely to their own capabilities and efforts. There's even a term in psychology for this, attribution bias. However, if we are successful, we should realize how lucky we are and not forget that the support society has given us, a good education, a safe and secure environment, and the mental and emotional support. Remember to give back. In our meritocratic society, we must ensure that the spirit of give back is most apparent in the successful. This starts at home. I read in a Debts for Life article where Mr. Gerard E. related how his father, the late Dr. E. Peng Liang, Singapore's father of charity, transmitted good values through word and action. The E family live in a lower income neighborhood at Geylang Lorong 13, and Senior E organized annual toy giveaways at his home for children in the neighborhood. Junior E and his brothers were in charge of packing the toys. And while this happened 50 years ago, Gerard still remembers how the children so look forward to receiving the toys. Gerard continues his father's spirit of giving back. He served as chairman of the National Kidney Foundation, NKF, from 2005 to 2012, having responded a call to help NKF get back to its feet. This was even after he had retired from active volunteering to take a deserved break. This spirit also lives on in Mr. Muhammad Abdul Jalil, who recently launched the SM Jalil Foundation, and in the philanthropic families of the late Mr. Lee Kong Chan, Dr. Lee Kong Chan, and Syed Omar Al-Juni. We too are successful in our own ways. Share our time, talents, and treasures with those in need. As employers, uplift wages of our employees. As colleagues, support those with caregiving responsibilities. Everybody can join the SG Cares movement to play a part and give back. Be kind to our fellow Singaporeans in their daily lives. The question is, will the new generation in Singapore, some of whom will become very wealthy in record time, in new areas such as tech, have the same spirit of giving as our pioneers? And will the children of our new well-heeled, who have access to the best education in the world, still give time to help uplift the rest of us? What is clear, though, is that only when the successful give back will society accept, rather than envy, their success. And that's because success that benefits others is success which we all can be grateful for. This is how meritocracy can be moral, and not just a method of allocating resources. When the successful demonstrate a sense of duty to society, when the successful share the fruits of success with others, instead of hoarding the gains for themselves. This is indeed why our public service model succeeds. Our most capable are awarded with prestigious scholarships, no small sum from public coffers, to pursue education at the best universities all over the world. Because they dedicate their best to public service, everyone in society benefits. We are fortunate to have good people who decided on a public service career rather than more lucrative fields, because the public service offers them greater meaning, and society has been the better of it. Because the best of our civil servants know, as President Bush Sr. put it, and I quote, "There is but one just use of power, and it is to serve people." Whether the outcome of meritocracy is the accumulation of wealth of authority, it will only function morally when those who are rewarded find ways to benefit others and help others succeed too. This is how we can narrow our social distance, even as we improve the Gini coefficient. It is as Bernanke puts it, the only way for even a putative meritocracy to hope to pass ethical muster, to be considered fair, is if those who are the luckiest in all of these respects also have the greatest responsibility to work hard, to contribute to the betterment of the world, and to share their luck with others. Mr. Deputy Speaker, let me now talk about common spaces and experiences as one feature of Singapore's brand of meritocracy. No other country or city shares common spaces like Singapore. We live together in shared neighborhoods, eat at the same hawker centers, exercise in the same parks and waterways, and bring our children to the same libraries to read. This is special. We must preserve this to ensure that every Singaporean has a stake in and a shared ownership of Singapore. We do this so that there are places and spaces where our community can come together regardless of race, language, or religion to enable daily interactions in as many ways as possible. But these common spaces are even more meaningful because they guarantee common access to quality public facilities and infrastructure for all. Our most basic rental housing must therefore continue to provide tenants with a decent home. That's also why, as the government shapes our future urban landscape, it must distribute rental housing across the island and mix public and private housing more deliberately. This will ensure that the most needy among us who have not done well yet in our meritocracy are not deprived of access to good quality public facilities. The successful and yet to be successful will live equally far or near to new nodes of economic activity in Jurong and Punggol, to hawker centers, elder care facilities, and schools. Every Singaporean must play our role. Resist the not in my backyard tendency to shove critical but undesirable facilities like funeral parlors behind rental blocks. Another quality common space is schools. We must continue to provide the best teachers and educational resources to our heartland schools and maintain our motto of every school a good school. Members may smirk at the mention of this motto, but it is a serious matter to remind ourselves to be thankful that we do not have a bifurcation where the elites send their children to expensive private schools and the rest to poorly resourced ones. In fact, many of our best students in national examinations come from our heartland schools. Our education policies must enable every Singaporean to pursue their aspirations and realize the potential regardless of their family background, including those with special needs. Since independence, our policies have attempted to equalize the opportunities for each generation, even as we know we can never equalize outcomes. Indeed, we are one of the few cities in the world where parents have no qualms putting their children through preschools and primary and secondary schools where they live. That's part of our brand of meritocracy. Investing in quality education is our way of ensuring a fair and good start to our children's journey, whatever their background. While some have the means to go overseas for studies, every Singaporean has the chance to receive a quality education at home. Everyone knows that their degrees and diplomas from our local institutions carry with them a world-class reputation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, my work at Singtel and in public service has taken me across the world. In every city, there are areas where the rich and successful live, with schools where only the wealthy and connected can afford to send their children to. And then there are the areas which visitors are advised to avoid, typically where the low-income or new immigrants gather. Even when rich and poor neighborhoods exist side by side, the inhabitants never cross paths. I'm not talking of developing nations, but of rich and wealthy ones. That's a failure of meritocracy that we have avoided and must never allow to take shape in our future. Let me move on to the third ingredient. The Singapore brand of meritocracy must ensure that nobody is left behind. How can government policies achieve this? First, government policies have to act as enablers, as ladders and bridges to provide a fair chance for everyone to move up in society, not only across families of jobs, but also over time. The government must therefore not allow meritocracy to reward narrowly, and instead broaden and make alternative routes available. As DPM Tharman once put it, multiple peaks of excellence, and if I may add, many chances of success. Second, our policies must enable self-reliance by supporting and encouraging work. We must provide all Singaporeans with the opportunity to work and do well for themselves and their families, regardless of where they are within our system of meritocracy at that point of time. This empowers individuals and families and strengthens dignity and purpose. But the government cannot stop there. It has already recognized that the workforce must be ready for future opportunities, as their current skills could become redundant. By investing in skills future to support the lifelong development of skills and knowledge and industry transformation map to enable our workforce to seize opportunities in the future economy. A future that, as former Minister Lim Swee Say quipped, will see workers transit from one job in one career to many jobs in many careers. This will also ensure that our meritocracy does not become a static snapshot, but a dynamic one, where everyone has the opportunity to reap success throughout his life journey. This recognizes that potential is not just realized in school and provides the opportunity for late bloomers to realize new dreams at different stages of their lives. Ultimately, it is trust between citizens and institutions that will strengthen Singapore's brand of meritocracy. To kindle this virtuous cycle, the government must deliver on our policies and continue to actively and openly accept in matters that are sensitive involving issues of security or commerce.